Hello there and welcome to Let's Play of Diablo 3. It's going to be a bit of a different one this time because I don't usually Let's Play Diablo 3, but I've been playing Season 7 and really enjoying it, so I thought I'd include some people on Let's see how this works. Right, I'm going to walk you through my set. It's mostly been concocted by my brother, although he probably got it from other people who have been playing a long time. But what I've done is basically corrupted a set my brother made, and it works pretty well for tier 10. I'm going to walk you through the items and interactions and how I've spent the Paragon points, and then we're going to run through a Grift 45, so that's about tier 10. If you want to skip ahead, just skip ahead till everything seems to be exploding, or towards the end there'll be some loot that I'm going to be well, mostly looking through and then partially discarding, because most of the loot in this game is terrible. However, it is loot, and sometimes you end up with an ancient legendary, which is the best type of loot. I did have an entire inventory full of loot, but I actually accidentally sharded it in pre-recording. Right. All the recording went wrong. Right, now, first things first, let's have a look at my set. My set is a Sun Wukong / Inners build. The Sun Wukong is just a 2 set so that I can have Sweeping Wind doing 50% damage reduction. That's this first spell here. So while I've got this running, I take 50% less damage. If you look at my toughness, 60 million goes down to 30 million when it runs out. So it's literally double toughness, which is why I'm using the Sun Wukong. Inners build has basically, I've got 5 parts on, but don't want the flag, thank you very much. I've got the Ring of Royal Grandeur in my Canized Cube. What that does is that means that I only need 5 parts of the Inners build to get the 6 set bonus. The bonuses are that the Mystic Allies and the Mass Mantras are 100% more effective. I also get all of the mantras at all times. I also get all of the Mystic Allies at all times. But as you can see, my group's a bit larger than 5 Mystic Allies, because I'm also got in my cube the boots that mean I get 2 of each Mystic Ally, so I've got 10. If you couple that with the ability to activate them all for special weapon damage, that's a lot of weapon damage. Next, we've got the fact that this is a Wave of Light build. That means that my main attack is Wave of Light. It releases bursts of energy that do 130% weapon damage. Couple that with the fact that it's reduced by 50% spirit. It happens at the enemy, thanks to this hat. It slows enemies and does 140% increased damage, and does even more damage, basically. Thanks to this weapon. So all of these items, as I'm showing them to you, help make the main attack do more damage, and that is sort of the key to this build. Right, it also helps that, as you can see, I've got Bane of the Trapped. Thanks to, where is it? This one causes enemies to be slowed by a main attack. Bane of the Trapped means any enemies under control of pairing effects, including slow, take 26% more damage. So again, that's stacking more damage on top of more damage. Right. This ring is also even more important than that, because each time I do a Wave of Light attack, you can see it reduces the cooldowns of one of all of your skills by 1 second. So the Mystic Ally activation can be activated far more often than you would think, because Wave of Light can be attack far more quickly than you think. Oh, be quiet, Templar. You're the best ally, but really. Right, so we've gone through that. Let's have a look at Paragon points. Right, so the main thing that matters is here, cooldown reduction. Because you want to be able to activate Mystic Allies as often as possible, I've stacked cooldown reduction up to 50. Everything else is pretty much unimportant. Stacking dex is always helpful though, because it's your damage and your dodge. So that's worth it. But the main thing to make sure is that you stack cooldown reduction, because as you'll see as we go through the rift, the Mystic Ally can be activated far more often, then that can clear an entire room full of enemies on its own. So the more often you can activate that, the better. I've also got Serenity equipped because it just means you get a shield for 3 seconds, which means if you are taking damage, probably because you forgot to keep Mystic Wind going, because that's what I always do, you can arrest your fall and build up Mystic Sweeping Winds again, and you'll be fine. Right, so let's get this going. Let's dive into a rift, get some loot, upgrade some gems. I'm only going to do level 45. I have done higher before, but it's really... my favourite thing to do at the moment is to race through rifts and see how fast I can do them. I'm trying to just beat my time. Right, here we go. So, Sweeping Winds going, Mystic Ally go, and they will just take an absolute ton of damage. These are elites. We're starting with elites, and they're just getting wrecked by the fact that this setup with Mystic Allies just does so much damage. It's literally 10 Mystic Allies all activating at once. I haven't even read the description of what they actually do. I don't really need to know it. All I know is that they do that much damage, and hooray. Right, here we go. As you can see, Mystic Ally is already ready again. So I just triggered that and they do an absolute load of damage. The main thing I use Serenity for, as you can probably just see, is when enemies start exploding, that's the time to activate Serenity, because you don't want to let them kill you just after they're already dead. And that happens a lot. In fact, I think that's probably the main time I ever take damage. Right. Now this is when Dashing Strike, which is on my right click, comes in handy, because it just means that you can navigate the level much quicker than if you didn't have it. And again, Mystic Ally is ready again already. And as you can see, it does a ton of damage just clearing this room where Wave of Light doesn't. Wave of Light, by the way, I've got set to the fire one because it is the widest area of effect of all of the Wave of Lights. There we go. Mystic Ally yet again. Again, like I said, all credit to my brother for teaching me this build. I mean, I've no idea where he got it from, but really I don't care. He was the one that spent the time to teach me and help me, in fact, run through the rifts and get all the equipment I needed for it, so thanks very much, bro. Oh, activated Mystic Ally when I didn't need to because they were all dead already. This game is so relaxing, just running through a rift, trying to kill as much stuff explosively as quickly as possible. Yet at the same time there's very little risk, because if you die, the worst thing that happens is you respawn on the spot several times. I mean, naturally, if you're doing a rift that's far too difficult for you, that's going to slow you up. Grift, as I hope I've explained, I'm not sure I did, it's this bar racing the timer. You want to try and fill it up as fast as possible and not run out of time. However, racing the timer is currently my favourite activity, trying to get that bar filled as fast as physically possible. It's much easier with more than one person, and I think my record currently is with help from my brother. I do also have a mage, a wizard I should say, who's tier 9, and that's quite a lot of fun to play. However, monk is definitely the easiest to become super overpowered with. Here we go, activate Mystic Ally and watch them all just explode. Now technically I should just be activating Mystic Ally as often as I like. It's not often that you say, oh, I got shocked by a pylon, and it's a good thing, is it? However, I'm spitting out electricity like crazy here, so that's one of those buff pylons that is probably my favourite. I think it shows up almost every single rift I've done, at least once. Handy. Yeah, normally if you say I got shocked by a pylon, it's because you're in hospital or dead. Although you might have difficulty saying after posthumously, I should say. But look at that, blowing up an entire room just at once with the primary attack. This is why I really need to use Mystic Ally more often, because if I can clear it that quickly with my primary attack, how fast could I clear these rifts if I actually put my mind to it and stopped chillaxing so much. I do think this is quite a relaxing game to play when you play a monk. As a wizard, it's a lot more maintenance, especially if you're running Telrash's set, which is what my main wizard runs. I've also got one running the Firebird set, but that's just about as stressful, which you don't really need when you're chilling. However, I should probably note that the reason you're not seeing any loot drop as we run through this rift is because in Grifts you don't have time to loot, so it drops all at the end. And usually it drops quite a bit. Right, say 4 or 5 pieces. That was it. That was the whole rift. Now we just have to take her down, and she's not even a challenge. However, getting her done fast as possible, that's the challenge. And she's dead. How long have we finished? With 9 minutes and 22 seconds. And at least a few bits of loot worth having, hopefully. Right, take all these gems, take all of these. I'm not going to take the blue and yellow items, they're not worth having. This lady is the gem reward lady. Basically, you take some gems that you like, and she tells you what chance it is of upgrading them at this level of rift. Personally, I think we might as well use 100% chance of upgrade. So this one regenerates 4600, so if we run it now, 4700 per second. No, 47,000 per second, I should say. Which one should I do now? They're both 80% chance. I think I'll go for this one because it does direct damage. 80%. Yeah, that was enough. Excellent. So that was that. Let's have a look at the loot we got.
I am returning to town.
And see whether it was worth it. We also got some blood shards that we picked up automatically, and we can spend those as well. So let's spend those now on one-hand mystery weapons, because we might get another one of these Kirashiro's blades, possibly in a better quality. I mean, I doubt it.
I cannot afford that.
That was all of them, and we got 4 yellow items. That's about normal. She gives about 1 in 20 legendary items, which is quite a low drop rate. But considering we got 5 legendary items just from that single run, that's not bad. Right, let's have a look at what quality they were. Depth Diggers. Primary skills that generate resource deal 90% additional damage. Those are handy if you're building a primary resource based damage set. I am currently not, so I don't need that. Doombringer. It doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage, so it's not really worth having. Wrath of the Bone King. That does interesting amount of damage, but it's not ancient legendary. It's not really worth having. If you hold shift, it tells you what it looks like compared to your current weapons if they didn't have gems in it. Considering my current weapons have a gem in each, that means you've got to sort of split the difference between the two, because it couldn't have 2 gems, it could only have 1 gem in it. So let's see. At best, this would be, if it wasn't ruining my set by removing the Kirashiro's blade, it would probably be about even with my current weapons. And what have we got here? Scourge, 4100 damage per second. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, that's definitely better than what I'm using, because it's plus 43% damage and only minus 20 with the gems included in the calculation. So I'm going to keep it just in case I build a monk that does use 2-handed weapons, say that primary resource build monk. I have actually got a few other sets. So for example, this one is a dashing strike set, this one is cyclone strike set. Here's a gold set that means that as you pick up gold you take more defense. So that could get used at some point, but it's not going to be used at the moment. And that's it for the moment. Let's close the rift and take the experience. What time did we do it in? 5 minutes 43 is my record. I did it in 5 minutes 37, so that's not bad, although that's for Rift 47. I don't know what my record for this Rift is. Let's call it that, 5 minutes 37. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll hope to see you next time.